Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at my brushless converted Bonzai buggy. Now these little 1/14 scale buggies are really starting to get popular now. A lot of YouTubers are covering them. A lot of people are saying that you're better off getting a 144001 because it does have more metal components. It's also quicker out the box. But I think we need to be fair to the little buggy. It is a brand new platform, and I do think it's got a lot of potential, which is why I have done a brushless conversion on it. And we're going to take a look at that in a moment. Now, before we take a look at the buggy, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest RC content. I've got a huge amount of stuff coming up on the channel, and you're not going to want to miss out. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at my brushless converted Bonzai buggy. Right then, and here it is. Now, as you can see, I have made a few changes. The first noticeable one is the shocks. This is now running oil-filled shocks, and they have come off of a WL Toys 144001. So we'll take a closer look under the body shell, because that is where a lot of the changes have been made. This thing is now brushless, and I've got a feeling this is going to be a crazy little buggy. Now, like I said, this little buggy is now running a brushless system, and I have gone for a 2440 6080 kV brushless motor. It is quite small, as you can see, and that has actually come out of my SG1603 conversion, but I think it's going to do the job absolutely fine. We are using the stock gearing as well, and I don't think we're going to have too many issues with it. Now, when it comes to the ESC, I'm just using an ESC off of another cheap ready-to-run RC that I have featured on the channel. It was the ideal size to fit under the body shell on this little buggy, plus the fact that it had a port for the free-wire servo that we've used. It just made sense, and I do believe it is 35 amps, and that should do the job absolutely fine on this little conversion. When it comes to the servo, the nice thing about this little buggy is it does have enough space to use a standard servo, and I'm just using an Electronics 9kg servo. And that is going to be more than enough for this little buggy. It is only 1/14 scale, so we don't need anything crazy. Now, yes, I could have used one of those Banggood specials, you know, those 25kg servos, but I think they're going to be, you know, overkill on a little buggy of this size. And finally, for the battery, I'm going to be using a 2200 milliamp hour 2S pack. And that is the pack that actually come with my WL Toys 124019. And that's going to do the job absolutely fine. Now, just to let you know, I did have to remove some of the plastic off of the chassis there, just to make sure that that battery pack would fit. Now, this does come with a 1500 milliamp hour 2S lithium ion pack, but I wanted a little bit of extra power, which is why I've gone for a LiPo. So the first thing we're going to do today is a speed test. Now, we're going to see how fast this little buggy will go on the new brushless setup. On the stock setup, we managed to achieve 21 miles per hour, which isn't a bad little speed considering the size and the power of the stock electronics. .36 miles per hour, which is a really good improvement. Now, since we're here, we'll give this a quick grass test again. Oh, it's windy today. Right, we did exactly the same with the brush setup, and it did feel a little bit sluggish on the grass, but we have to remember this is a small buggy, and if you are intending to run on grass primarily, then a slightly larger model would probably be better suited to this surface. Well, it does feel a lot better. It's just so light that it just wants to flip all the time. The one thing I'd be worried about running on this sort of surface all the time would be heat. I mean, that tiny little 2440 motor is going to get real hot real quick running on the grass. So you may want to switch that out for a slightly larger motor. But the issue I faced was the size of the shaft for the pinion. I believe it's a 2.3mm shaft, and the larger brushless motor that I was going to fit into this, it wouldn't have fitted because of the shaft size to fit the stock pinion. So it is something to bear in mind.